dining at Sardi's, or else you're alone, and then you suddenly think, you suddenly hear a bell. Right away you can tell, this could be the start of something. This could be the heart of something. This could be the start of something.
What? You're damn right. Thank you. Figure out how to shut this off. We're good. There you go. This could be the start of something big. And I don't like talking about anything small. So the hardest job I have today with you is making you think astronomically big. Now, I have to start off in a very humble mode. I have to use where I started. And the reason I have to do that is the numbers that I'm going to give you are so big that you won't think it's you may not think that you're capable of achieving it. But I want to tell you some stories today about ordinary people that had ideas, and all those ideas started small. And I want to create some type of hunger in you for you to do that, to take your idea and move it to any level that you can imagine. I want to thank Dustin and Dave and Ann for having me here. It's really an honor. They don't invite too many people to speak. And I do it because I like those guys. I speak like 3 times a year, that's all. I get all these invitations, but I don't like them. It's not that I don't like them, it's I like these guys, so I like doing it. I own an advertising agency. It's called Bulldozer Digital. And the advertising agency is a little strange. It only does radio. But radio doesn't work. Can't make that much money just using radio. Huh? I don't know. Another thing I'd like to do, another reason I like to doing this is entrepreneurs. I love talking to entrepreneurs. How do I know you're an entrepreneur? It's Friday afternoon. We're in a room with no windows, and your friends are home on a Friday planning their cocktail hour. You're an entrepreneur. You left your family, your friends, your business, come here, saying, I want to do this, I'm planning this. All right, what are you doing? You going to do another one of those things? Yeah, I always could. At any rate, I've done it my whole life. You're doing it. My shelves are filled with products and CDs and DVDs and everything. It's almost embarrassing. I bet I spent $100,000 on stuff, But that's my education. And, you can't ever cheat the process. You think you can, take the shortcut, do this. It doesn't work like that. You cannot cheat the process. So, I'm going to make you really proud of yourselves to be entrepreneurs. I know you're really proud now, but I'm going to take you to the next level to be proud of yourself. And I'm going to tell you why you are how you are. I travel a lot, all around the world. I can always pick out an American. The way they walk, the way they talk, the way they ask for directions, I can always pick out an American. There's a certain type of attitude I call Americanism. There's a type of confidence. My wife's culturally Italian. She says, say good morning first before you say, how far is it to Rome? Say. But Americans are a unique group. We, talk about ideas, okay? It's not that we have good ideas in America and the rest of the world doesn't have good ideas. The rest of the world has no ideas. I'm serious. They have no ideas. All the ideas are here. You don't realize it because you're always comparing yourself to your peers. But I'm telling you, all the ideas are here. So where does that intellectual or cockiness come from? First of all, I'm going to apologize. I brag a lot. But I'm doing it for your benefit. Plus, it's fun. So, when you come to Philadelphia and visit me, I'm going to take you for a cheesesteak, and then I'm going to take you to the National Convention Center, and then I'm going to take you to a mafia restaurant and put you in the right seat where actual mafia people have been shot and killed. And that's what I'm going to do. When you come and visit me in Philadelphia, that's what I'm going to do. So at any rate, the middle part where I go to it's called the new National Convention Center. You go in there and you hang out with the original 56 entrepreneurs in full size, cast in bronze, standing around. These are the signers of the Declaration of Independence. The original 56 entrepreneurs that pledged their fortunes, right, and their lives for a new idea, experiment. So I got to thinking. I said, I don't know who these people are. I can't read their names on the Declaration of Independence. I can read John Hancock, you know, because it's so large. So at any rate, I found a book that had each of their names in it and a little picture. And I said, oh, cool. I get to find out who they are, who these 56 guys are. These are the original 56. So I read about them, and you know, it was pretty cool. And then I said, I wonder what happened to them. I wonder what happened to these guys. What happened? So then, out of the clear blue sky, I have a friend who's all politics. I never open his emails because I know it's going to be something about the Republicans or the Democrats. It's like hollering at the rain. So I never open it. So one day I open his email. I swear, for no reason. And there's a 8-page thing that he sent out, and it talks about what happened to the people who signed the Declaration of Independence. If you stay to the end, I'll give you a copy. I had my assistant read it to me. I sat back and I let her read it to me. And it'll choke you up. It'll show you what it takes to be a real entrepreneur. So what's the good news? You stand on the shoulders of giants. That's why you have the American attitude. That's where it came from. These guys are bold. These guys said it, they pledged it, and that's who you are. There is nothing more wonderful than an American entrepreneur. We make everything happen. We employ all the people, we come up with all the great ideas, we create optimism in the world. That's who we are. Give yourself a hand right now. So, what are they saying about me here? This is like a weekend. I mean, when they send me on the road, they give me enough material for a weekend. So, I'm going to blow through a lot of this. This is my father. Looks like a hitman, doesn't he? God bless him. My father's a very peculiar person. He was my best friend and my father, and this was the only person I knew that preached underachievement. I said, Dad, I want to go to college. That's a bunch of crap. You don't want to go to college. I'll get you a nice job at Westinghouse. He couldn't have said anything more motivational to get me in college. Dad, look, I made Dean's List. No, C's. Get C's. A's and B's, too hard, too much for you. Dad, look at this business. I got in the newspaper. Oh, man, people are going to be calling you, and there's going to be a lot of pressure on you. So I have 3 brothers, and I'm saying, a couple years ago, my father passed away about 10 years ago, but a couple years ago, my brothers and I were talking. The old man, we call him the old man. Do you think the old man really meant that stuff, or was it like reverse psychology? We don't know. This is my other brother. This is Gary Catona, my brother, lives in LA. He's the world's premier voice teacher. And there are a list of his clients there. Everybody from Andre Bocelli to Liza Minnelli to Limp Bizkit to Barbra Streisand to Whitney Houston. Everybody who has a great voice, Gary teaches. So that's underachieved. That's my father's guidance. Gary has a master's degree in philosophy. My mother said, "What's he going to do with that?" I said, "Probably drive a cab, Mom. I don't know." Never had a real job, but he does really well. My other brother is a lawyer, and my other brother has a ton of real estate. So be careful what you say to your kids, because a lot of times they'll do just the opposite. Now, how many people here have a product to sell? Okay, how many people here have a webinar? Okay, and what are the different ways you can get people to buy your product? I call everything a product, by the way. So What's one way? Anybody? Just yell it out. Internet. What's your name? Chico. Chico, do you know what tasty cakes are? You don't, do you? These are from Philadelphia. They're made with real butter, cream, and eggs. And we fight over them in Philadelphia. Anybody here in Philadelphia? You know. You know. This is so, okay. There's two there, Chico. Who else? Another way you could tell people. Who said radio? I should throw two to you. Another one? Classifieds. All right. I'll tell you what. These are filled with peanut butter. You'll like these. Yeah, well, you're on. Word of mouth. Word of mouth is good. Let me see. I love these. Not very many people know what these are. These are called butterscotch crimpets. They're excellent. They were called broad butterscotch before you called it like that. Anybody else? Okay. That was exceptional. Anybody else? LinkedIn. I've never been able to do this. This is going to be a first. I've never been able to hit the back of the room. Just don't let it hit my product, okay? Ah! No! Enron, where are you, buddy? Where's Emron? He's from Jersey. He said, you better give me a tasty cake. I'll kill you. All right, I'll get him later. At any rate, what would happen if your message, whatever your product or service you're selling, was heard by 20 million people? What would happen? I can deliver that in 5 days. So as you're putzing around doing this and buying words and all this, a 60-second commercial. Can anybody here write 200 words about their product? Okay, that's a 60-second commercial. All right, I have a formula I use. Because I was a school teacher for 13 years, I call it my radio report card. I never stray from this. That formula, your message, 160 to 200 words in front of 20 million people. I'm going to show you some stuff. The people aren't here. The people aren't here now. I'm glad you're here, but the people aren't here. You have no idea what I'm about to tell you. You have, in your wildest imagination, I would bet that 5 people in this room are going to become millionaires from what I tell you today, or multimillionaires, or even more. What's it cost to sit beside me at lunch? What's that worth? I don't know. I sat beside like 3 people. I'm sure I changed their lives, you know, because I love doing this. I can give you ideas. Oh, anyway, let me get into it. Anyway, I started out as a school teacher. I taught school for 13 years. Teacher of the year in my school, because you can tell I'm pretty good, aren't I? The way I entertain you. I give food away, and it's always worked for me. I was a wrestling coach, and Russell Brunson. How many saw Russell? Okay, Russell is a wrestler from Iowa, which is a very good wrestling state, and Russell and I wrestled at the last seminar down in Tampa, Florida, and he did beat me. I mean, that's true. He did. If you hear it, he did beat me. But I think he used an illegal move. I'm just saying it right now. I always wanted to be an entrepreneur. So I said to my wife one time, do you think our children are smart enough to go to college? I had 3 boys. And she said, no, but they're going to want to go anyway. Because of the beer and the parties, they're going to want to go. I said, well, I have to do something more than teaching school. I was making $17,500 teaching school. So I opened a hoagie shop. Does everybody know what a hoagie is? It's a sandwich? Okay, in Philadelphia, everybody owns a hoagie shop. Especially if you're a school teacher, you're off in the summers, you own a hoagie shop. You know how many hoagies you have to sell to pay tuition? You can't, it's a lot of hoagies. So I started a mail order, direct response hoagie shop. Okay, I called it A Taste of Philadelphia. And simultaneously, I took a course from a guy who was promotional director for the Beatles. And he says, I can teach you how to sell anything. He said, what do you sell, young man? I says, hoagies. He goes, what the hell's a hoagie? I said, well, it's a sandwich. Ah, I'll teach you how to do it. Anyway, he gave me these ideas, and it was like a sponge, man. I said, oh, that's really fun. That sounds cool. Anyway, I created a mail-order hoagie company, first time in history. It was simultaneous to Federal Express coming into existence. All right, so I could ship it overnight. My brother's in California. He can't get hoagies. Anyway, I get all these write-ups. You know, I end up in the Wall Street Journal about my business. I call NASA as a joke. If you own a hoagie shop, there's a lot of people just hang out. So I had some friends hanging out. I said, "What's the furthest you ever sent a hoagie?" I said, "I sent one to Australia." "Why don't you send one to the moon?" So I go, "NASA, please." "Hi, NASA." "Yes." "Listen, my name is Fred Catona. I specialize in travel sandwiches. I was wondering if I can make one for the astronauts." All my friends are standing around. And, you know, they're laughing. "Really? Okay." "Yes. I'll put you right through to the food." Put me through to the doctor who does the food for the astronauts. I say to him what I do. He says, "We are looking for a sandwich for the astronauts. You think you could help us out?" Entrepreneurs always ask big questions. Don't, right? Why ask small questions? You don't get small yes, small no, who cares? Big questions. So at any rate, he said, "I'll send you the specifications." So he sent me the specifications. I went to Widener University. I gave it to them as a science project, and they actually created a hoagie that could get onto the space shuttle, and it was on their mission. So funny story. As we have it, one of the astronauts is from Philadelphia. So I write him, you know, and I say, you know, "Take a hoagie. You can take a hoagie now." So he writes back to me, "Fred, I'm not taking a hoagie." He says, "They want us to eat the first 4 hours of shuttle flight." He says, "We don't. Do you know why we don't? Because we're throwing up. That's why." He says, "I'll wait till I get back to Earth to eat a hoagie." So anyway, but it got on that. It got on that. So I got in the Wall Street Journal selling hoagies, all right? So I'm making $17,500 teaching school. My mail-order hoagie business, I shipped hoagies, cheesesteaks, tasty cakes, soft pretzels, Goldberg's peanut chews, and Scrapple. That's right. Okay? Just under $1 million I was making shipping hoagies. And what happened? I used to get interviewed on the radio. That's a really cool idea. And every time I get interviewed on the radio, people would call me and they say, "Could you do that for me?" This is the whole beginning of my career. Understand what I'm about to tell you, right? This is all like happenstance. But this could be the start of something big, hopefully for you. Can you see something big coming out of this, just what I've said so far? Yeah, of course you can. And I'm going to help you see even greater things. And I'm going to tell you some stories that are going to blow your mind. All right, so I would go on a radio show. They'd say, "How do you do this? What do you do?" And all this stuff, you know. "How do you pack it? Is it fresh? You have any reviews? Anybody ever die, you know, from Hogan?" You know, all this stuff. So one time I gave an interview, and the sales manager stopped me. And he said, "I have an idea." He says, "You know, we get a lot of people calling the station when we do these interviews with you. What if we take one of your care packages, we sell it, we'll do a commercial for you, we'll sell it, and we'll split the revenue." Yeah, okay. So that's what they did. They did a 60-second commercial, 160 to 200 words, and, you know, and they sold these things, and they got half, and I got half, something like that. So I said to myself, I wonder how many radio stations there are in the country. There are 10,000. I ended up on thousands doing that same thing. So this one product that I wrote is for a certain type of entrepreneur like me. It's entitled "Make Money with Free Radio," because I wasn't paying a thing for the radio. And I made just under $1 million doing it like that. I had no money. This is what I had to use. So I made a product called How to Get Free Radio. I do that because there's always somebody here who maxed out their credit card, who had to hitchhike the last 10 miles to get here. You know, they brought one set of clothes with them, and they asked a friend if they could stay in the room. You know, but God bless you, that's what that's for. Been there, done that, okay? So no apologies. any rate, I became this, people thought I was a radio guy because I was always on the radio. So I became like a radio advertising company. Somebody said to me, you know what you are? I said, what? You're an advertising agency. I said, I am? Yeah, you're a radio advertising agency. I said, okay, I don't know anything about that. So I became very good at what I was doing, and I used to sign celebrities up to sell products. There are some of the celebrities that I signed up. All right, and I had fun with all of them. And another part of the package that everybody's going to buy today, another part is I actually gave you one of my contracts that I paid $10,000 legal fees to get this drafted, and you can have this. Here's what you do. You don't sign up a celebrity using my contract. As a matter of fact, I think I have some disclaimer in there that says don't do that. What you do is you give this to your attorney, and your attorney, this is all, he has it all now. He has something that's already vetted and paid for and good, and that's how you do it. Now, the reason you want to do a celebrity for radio is because it doesn't cost that much. TV, yeah. Print, yeah. Not radio, because there's no lights, camera, action. It's just radio. So you can get them for a lot less money. A lot of times I got them for a piece of the action. Okay. So, I'm the father of direct response radio because I started it. Nobody else ever did a radio agency, an agency or advertising agency that just did radio. So I started the very first one. Here's some of the records I've set. 2.2 million responses in 14 days. How would you like to open up your computer and each day, you have 100 orders? Would you like that? Yes. All right. How about 500 orders? Yes? I see you going like that. How about 1,000 orders? Yes. How about 13,000 orders? Because that's what that is. Every day, 13,000 orders. Okay? $50 million. I'm going to go back and I'll tell you this story. I sold $50 million in airline tickets in 1 week. Radio doesn't work. I did $1 billion in sales in 18 months. No one in history, not Microsoft, not Google, not anyone, has ever sold $1 billion in product from startup to 18 months. Never been done. Radio doesn't work. All radio, by the way. The valuation of the company is $20 billion in 24 months. Wealth, the founder of Priceline, Jay Shatner. I was going to tell you about William Shatner. I signed and selected William Shatner as the spokesperson for Priceline. And everybody says, brilliant. I said, we had no money. He was between jobs. That's how it was done. I don't know about the brilliant part, So, but Jay Walker, the founder of Priceline, became the 42nd wealthiest man in America according to Forbes magazine. This all happened in 18 months. Just radio. Branding, Priceline became the second most recognized brand in the world for e-commerce, second only to Amazon.com. Just radio. Okay, why you're at the right place at the right time. You're not satisfied, and you think big. Is that fair to say? Is that fair to say? I mean, we're all brothers here. We're all entrepreneurs, right? This isn't a presentation, everybody. This is a conversation between one entrepreneur to you guys. This is the way I talk all the time. If you were at lunch with me, I'd be talking to you like this. If I called you on the phone, I'd be talking to you like this. This is a conversation. You think your business can be bigger, that's your pain, and your strength is you're an American entrepreneur. God, you can't be stopped. You can't be stopped. Same thing. Same thing. That thing about burning down the White House, that's just an indiscretion. Indiscretion. It happens once in a while. Friends do that, You're focused and disciplined. I know that because you're here, and it costs you money to be here. You'll be surprised when you spend money how focused you become. The times that you're not focused is when people give it to you free or make it easy for you. When I make it hard for my kids, they respond. When I make it easy, they don't respond. The reason people use direct response, does everybody know what direct response does everybody know what direct response means? That's the industry you're in. You're going directly to a person that you want to buy your product or service. That's direct. And you're going to say one of two things, probably. You're going to say, call this phone number or go to this URL. So you're direct response marketers. Direct response marketers are the smartest marketers in the world because don't you measure things? Yes. When you measure things, you can grow it. If you don't measure it, you can't grow it, and you don't know what's going on. And you can scale nationally, and that's what I'm going to talk to you about. I'm going to talk to you about starting small, scaling nationally. I'm going to fly through a lot of this, if you don't mind. Are you okay with that? I don't like PowerPoint, honestly. I could talk for like 3 days, but I don't like that. All right, I want to talk to you about messaging. Messaging. How can I explain what a I got an idea. Okay, got that. Let's see if I have any money. Okay. I got $1 here. And, let me see, $200. Okay. All right. See what we go here. See, I'll try this. How it works here. See if I see a friendly face who's smiling at me. Relax, Dave. Blondes. I've always had an attraction to blondes. Could I see you for a second, please? See if I can turn this on. Okay. Oh, it's on?
Yeah.
Okay. What is your name?
Julia,
Have we ever met before, Julia? Yes, say yes.
out in the hallway.
Out in the hallway, okay. I have a question for you, Julia.
Okay.
Would you kiss me?
No.
Give you $1?
Right. I don't think so.
It's kind of embarrassing. All right. Oh.
That too.
$1 and a chocolate cupcake tasty cake. No? $1, the chocolate cupcake, $200. I always keep my word. Thank you very much. Big hand for Julia, please. All right. Did you see that I had to keep changing the message? Did you see that I had to be persistent? Did you see that I got a kiss? I did this at a local chapter in Philadelphia, and the guy said to me, do you know you have lipstick on your face and you're going home to your wife telling her you're out lecturing? With radio, unlike any other type of media, you can change the message virtually no cost. I own an advertising agency. The studio abuts my office. I have French doors that go right into a recording studio. And I do that because my client calls me, or one of my writers comes in and says, let's change that headline. Let's do this, let's do that. And I can change it, instantly and put it back on the air. Commercials are emailed, so it's easy to do it. So the reason this is important is that you have an idea, and you have to convey that idea to the mass public. I'm a mass marketer. That's what I am. Radio, TV are mass marketers. We get your message to the masses, to the public. There's some of the people that I've done it for. Priceline, Free Credit Report, ADT, Disney, Lycos, a bunch of others. Radio reaches 77% of all adults, 93% of all people over 12 years old. 230 million people listen each week. These are some people who just built their brand using radio. Motel 6, Snapple, 800 Mattress, Priceline, Free Credit Report, Howard Stern, Rush Limbaugh, and many others. Can you see how your brand can get out there? And if you tell a bunch of people the value of what you're selling, how you could be something very quickly? Yes. Okay, I'll tell you how we do that. But the sad truth is you've been oversold by shiny objects, like I have. I always want to chase the new thing, you know. You don't need to. 60-second commercial, 160 words, you're on the air in 1 week. Oh, how about if it doesn't work? We change the commercial. It's that simple. You start small. Most people are confused and paralyzed. They don't know what to do. That's why Dave Van Hoos said before this started, he says, you got to focus. You got to focus on something. You can't be doing what a lot of advertising companies call integrated marketing. Here's what integrated marketing means. If you go into a big advertising company, they will say, I'll tell you what I'm going to do, Dave here. Dave, we're going to do TV, radio, internet, billboards, and we're going to put you on the back of bathroom doors. You're going to be everywhere. Dave goes back, he tells his boss, we're everywhere. We're on radio, TV, internet, billboards, and we're on the back of bathroom doors. What that advertising company just did is they took Dave's budget and they sliced it up, right? Right? So now Dave is everywhere but nowhere because he's too thin. All right. The Priceline strategy was that we take all the budget and we put it all into radio because we can reach 230 million people inexpensively. We could change the message quickly. Are you picking up on this a little bit? Do you see the simple brilliance of this? Not all mine. Jay Walker. The more I tell you about Jay Walker, I'm going to give you a glimpse today into the mind of a genius. I have something to show you at the end about Jay Walker that you won't believe. At any rate, CPM. Does anybody know what CPM means? Who said cost per thousand? Oh, right, man in the blue. Not bad, not bad. Cost per thousand. That's how much it costs to reach 1,000 people. $10 for TV, and billboards, $2, all right? The way Bulldozer Digital does radio, we're down at $2. Billboards are $2.26. Billboard, how many words are best on a billboard? Does anybody know? The maximum number of words? Who? Yell it out, come on. 7. All right. 7 words. So come up to radio, you have about 200 words, so you can actually explain something. You can create, you can educate and explain. It's a good type of advertising. So that's why radio is a good buy. In January and February, it's even a better buy. They're my best months, January and February. So if you want to launch something, January and February is terrific. I just want to scoot through here. It took me 20 years to put these pieces together. I'm going to give them to you in 5 minutes. I want to show you something here. Okay. See the tagline? See the tagline here? Name your own price for an airline ticket. So people are calling up and putting in $1. I want to fly New York to LA. Do you think you're going to get an airline ticket for $1? No. But in order to put in that $1, you had to put in your name and credit card. So we have 2.2 million people putting in their names, credit cards, contact information in 14 days. We had a list of 2.2 million people that we sent emails to and said, sorry we couldn't get it to you for $1. How about $250? Still lower than any place else you're going to get. This is a formula that I created. I want to give it to you. All right? This is worth the price of admission right now. All right, offer something everybody wants, not needs, you know, wants. Don't tell people what they need. They want what they want. They want, you know, anyway. Offer them the opportunity to get it for free. Then sell them something related to that core product at a radically lower price and make it fun. That's it. You do that, you've just created a $1 billion web company. Now, as simple as that sounds, it takes, when I get a new client, for me to create the strategy, it usually takes me 30 to 45 days to figure it out. That's what it usually takes me. I have like the top radio direct response writers in the world writing for me. And it takes us that long to figure it out. As simple as it sounds for your product or service or you, that's how long it takes us. And the entrepreneur usually knows the answer, but we have to dig it out of them. So I'm wondering if I have my free credit report up here. We use a trust agent, by the way, in all our radio commercials. That's a person that you know, like, and trust. That's a person that could be a celebrity, or it could be you, because you're the entrepreneur. And people can hear the real deal when you're on the radio. Let's see what else we got here. So we add a free or ridiculously low offer. And we use my report card. What they call it, my $1 million? They call it my $1 billion. It's not, this is my $1 million. It cost me, not because you can make $1 million using this, it cost me $1 million to figure it out. So that's why we call it the $1 million report card. There it is right there. There are the 15 steps. Anybody want to take a picture of that real fast? Too late. You almost got it. You almost got it. $1 million. All right. So everybody tells you about their big successes. Let me tell you about freecreditreport.com. Freecreditreport.com calls me after my price. I'm smart now, you know, because I launched Priceline. You'd be surprised how intelligent people think you are when you have a big success. Matter of fact, they sit up and they listen to you, and they're more courteous to you, and they're kinder. You get tickets to ball games, all types of stuff. Anyway, so Free Credit Report calls me, and they say, would you do the same thing for us? You know, I said, well, okay. So my first commercial was, get a free credit report. It's a pretty good headline. I can't give away something for free. This, ladies and gentlemen, fellow entrepreneurs and marketers, has a nuance to it that I would like you to take home with you today. There's a couple things I'm going to give you as what I call entrepreneurial moments. This is one of them I'm going to give you, okay? So the second one I did, I said, get a free credit report. It's critical to your financial future. Put a little concern in there. 2 more commercials, did not get a response. 5th commercial. Before I did the 5th commercial, I'm talking to one of my writers who doesn't possess a great deal of mental health. He says, I wouldn't do that. I said, why? He goes, nah, it's personal. I said, what do you mean it's personal? This is my credit. I don't know why I'm looking at my credit. I says, what are you talking about? He said, if it was, you know, just like a private thing, you know, it might interest me. I said, you mean like run a free credit report on yourself? He goes, yeah. $1 billion enterprise because of that line. Listen to the nuance, ladies and gentlemen, that people have in their minds that you're addressing in your offers and your headlines. People had a concern about their privacy. And if you notice something between the Priceline tagline and the free credit report tagline, you will see a similarity. That both of them are what? Yourself. Empowering. Okay? Respect who you're selling to. Empower them with a message. Bring them aboard. Treat them the way you want to be treated. And they'll get to know you, like you, and trust you. And they need to trust you or they're not going to buy from you. You know that. That's the bar right there. If they don't trust you, you're not getting anybody. So that's how you do it. That's how you do it. God, I'm giving you some stuff today. You should have a picture of me like in your entrance to your house after you make $1 million. All right. Now, here's what I do with people that come to me with these great ideas. You have a question? Go ahead.
So, were you trying to do the free credit report on every? How was it packaged before when it didn't sell? Because
It was a startup.
Okay.
Both of those were conversations like across the table. Fred, what do you think of this idea? That's what I'm trying to say today. Like when I talk to, you're way ahead of a lot of the people that I've made extremely wealthy. I've made people hundreds of dollars. Hundreds of dollars. Hundreds. And billions. Okay? It's the idea, the message, and the rolling it out to, if you had gold and nobody knew you had gold, and you're giving the gold away for free, and nobody knew it, nobody would come and get the gold. What are you going to do? Yell out your window? Gold! All right? This is mass marketing. You have an idea, you tell it to the world. I'm going to get into that more later. Anyway, this profit analyzer that I do, you come in, and I invented this thing. It's like a Excel on steroids type thing. And we put in metrics that we know to be true, and you know some of your metrics. And at the end, it gives you a picture of your profitability. It tells you how many calls you have to get or how many visits to your URL and what your profit margin is. And it really lays out a nice picture of what you have to do to be successful. And it tells me whether I want you as a client, and it tells you whether this is a product or service. All right? It has all the elements. It's taken me 20 years to figure out. And that's what this analyzer does. It's a very cool thing, and I would never start a project without it. All right, this is another thing that I made up. I made it up actually a couple months ago. Always offer somebody an elephant offer. The elephant offer is something that's extremely expensive. Now, where'd this come from? Everybody heard of Neiman Marcus catalog? Yes? Okay. The Christmas catalog in particular? Yes, okay. So there's an elephant there with a library ladder leaning against the elephant. And people are calling in, they want the elephant. They don't want the library ladder, they want the elephant. So Roger Horchow wrote a book called Elephants in Your Mailbox. And he says, always have an elephant offer. So last time I gave this talk, my elephant offer was, you put in $1 million in advertising, I'll put in $250,000. I'll give you $250,000. But I have to like your product or service a lot before I do that. So that was my elephant offer. So every once in a while, when I find something that I really love, I invest in it. But it has to be really exceptional. So for your stuff, all right, you have your core offer, but always have your elephant offer because there's always a percentage of people that want that elephant. Let them buy it. Go to their house and coach them for a week and charge them $100,000. I don't know what it is. Do it. If nobody even takes you up on it, it makes your other price look low. So use your elephant offer. Terrestrial is regular radio. Satellite radio, you've heard of satellite radio, okay. Satellite radio is part of our media plan, but it's small. Just the market in Philadelphia is larger than all of satellite radio. So people come to me and they say, I've already tried radio, I'm a success. Where'd you try it? I tried it on satellite. All right, that's good. He says, could you roll me out? I says, you were rolled out. That's it. There's no way to get bigger. So, excuse me. Need my brother, the voice teacher. He brought Jack Klugman's voice back when he had throat cancer and Muhammad Ali's for a while. At any rate, when I test you in something, I have to test that if it works, that I can scale it. It does no good for me to test you on something that works that I can't scale. So my job is to test you in a venue that I know if it works, I can make you big. And that's part of what your media buyer does. Whether you use me or another ad agency, you have to question that all the time. If my test works, can you scale it? All right. We use something called radio digital convergence marketing. This is a long word. It's pervasive, invasive, and engaging. And what I do, I'll tell you my formula. Nobody else does this. We're light years ahead of anybody on this. What we do is this. You ready? Shake your head free a little bit. Okay. We do a 60-second commercial. We offer something free. When you call them for the free offer, we exchange that for your email. We give you the free offer, valuable free offer. A certain percentage of the people immediately buy the core offer, but the majority do not, okay? But we have their what? Emails. So now we send, it's called a sequence. We send a sequence of 15 emails. They could be videos. They aren't buy now. They're just more information about the core product that you called in for in the beginning. A number or a percentage of those people start buying. In addition to that, we invite you to follow the trust agent. Remember the trust agent I explained up here? Would you like to follow him on, we invite him to follow that person on Twitter and Facebook. So those people become engaged. That's what social media is for, engagement. They get to know you, like you, and trust you on social media. Those people start converting. The good part about it is the web sequence, we use Infusionsoft, and the social media sequence, they don't cost anything. So for the same dollar you spend on radio, now you're in the person's computer, you're on their cell phone, and you're on their social network. That's how we get big numbers on radio. That's how we do it. 10 years ago, you could just do radio and it would pay out, and it's fine. That's not how you do it today. You got to be cutting edge. This is how you do it. Social media is here to stay. You know, as this world becomes more digitized, people want to get to know you. Who are you? Do I like you? Do you have a dog, pets? Do you travel? What's the deal? Then I'll buy from you. All right? Everybody here, believe me, is interesting. I would be fascinated to sit down and have lunch or dinner with any of you. I know it. So you have to leverage on that. And if you're not interesting, make yourself interesting. How many people have automated webinars? All right, drive massive traffic to your automated webinars. I'm my biggest client. I do this. You know, I use radio to drive to my webinars. So what's it like if you have a really good free offer and you're in front of 20 million people? I always use that because one of my networks I can roll out in 4 days to 20 million people. What's that look like? Would you like another 500 or 500 orders a day or 1,000 orders a week? How's that look? Look good? How's that make you feel in the morning when you put your feet on the floor? What's that do to your debt? What's that do to your mortgages? Huh? What's that do to your retirement? What's that do to your self-esteem? What's it do to your family's feeling about you? All right? You got to be bold. Not frivolous. Don't come to me with your last $2,000, say, make me a billionaire. You know, have some money put aside. Do it right. What am I doing here? That's just things that I've already gone over. My killer formula, case studies. I've gone over the Priceline thing. Oh, let me tell you a Priceline story. This is cool. So Jay Walker calls me and he says, could you come see me? A friend of a friend calls me, first of all. Isn't that the way it always is? Friend of a friend calls me. He says, Fred, I have this strange person. He wants to do radio. I said, why me? He says, you're the only idiot that does radio. Good enough. I'll take it. So I go up to Connecticut and I visit Jay Walker. And I walk in and I sit down. It's this dark office with gargoyles on the wall and stuff, you know. And Jay said, here's all the money I have, like all I could scrape up. I want you to do radio for me. So I see that, you know, as a school teacher of 13 years, I can read upside down. So I could see that check was made out to my company. So this next statement closed the deal. I want you to remember how insightful this next statement was that I made to Jay. I says, what's the name of your company? He says, Priceline.com. I said, what's .com mean? It was 1998. We forget. It wasn't too long ago. We didn't know what a .com was. This world is changing fast. Anyway, he says, don't worry about that. It has to do with the internet and so forth. What do you think of the idea? I says, when I fly, I see a lot of empty seats, which I don't see anymore. But I see a lot of empty seats, so it seems like a pretty good idea. But I wasn't blown away. He said, here's all the money. He said, spend it like it's your own. I said, okay. And I'm walking out. He says, oh, by the way, get me a celebrity. Okay. So I selected Shatner. He was in between jobs, as I said, and we didn't have that much money. Now, if you're sitting down, that's good, because now I'm going to tell you how much Priceline has paid him over the last 12 and a half years. Everybody is sitting, right? How about $600 million? I met him once at the IPO party. I said, Mr. Shatner, I'm Fred Catona. I'm the person that selected you for Priceline spokesperson. He was smoking a cigar about that long. He goes, damn good choice. That's it. So here's the deal. I went back, I launched my radio campaign with this check, and you had to put your hand on your heart, the amount of response this got. We had a phone number. It was call 1-800-PRICELINE or go to Priceline.com. I'm just curious, does anybody here know of any phone room that can handle 2.2 million phone calls? No? There isn't any. Do you think our servers were set up to handle 2.2? No. So we had no phones, no servers. So I called Jay. I love this story. Jay, remember, school teacher, making a little money. I'm calling Jay. This is a big deal. I've never seen anything like it. I'm in the catbird seat. Jay, Fred, how you doing? Boy, he sounds cavalier. Jay, we have no phones. We have no servers. What are we going to do? He says, Fred, that's nothing. He says, we don't have any airline tickets either. He said, are we doing anything illegal? I said, no. He goes, we'll catch up. I just gave you an entrepreneurial moment, ladies and gentlemen. Entrepreneurs don't blink. Here's what he said next. He says, how much are you ready to spend? So I told him, double it. Entrepreneurial moment for me. Once you have traction, pedal to the metal. It's so rare, guys, that when you get it, go for it. Okay? Entrepreneurial moment here for you right now. I would have paid any amount of money to be in front of me 25 years ago, by the way, just to get this information. So, the last line of a direct response commercial has the phone number repeated. We repeat the phone number or the URL 3 times, right? You've heard it. Call 1-800, call 1-800, that's 1-800. Okay. So Jay used to take out the last 1-800, and he used to put in a sentence that said, I told you this was going to be big, really big. So I called Jay up. I said, Jay, what are you doing? What do you mean? I said, why do you take out that third phone number or URL? Oh, by the way, we had no phones. You'll never see another phone number for Priceline. It's Priceline.com now. So that's what we went to. So he said, are you ready to come inside? I go, I'm spending all your money. You better bring me inside. He goes, we're going public. I said, I'm glad you told me. He says, why? I says, because I'll tell you what I'm going to do. Listen to what I did. Radio's inexpensive. It's cheap. What I did is I went to Wall Street and I did what's called an overlay. And it was physically impossible for you to turn on any radio station, day or night, going to work, from work, at work, without hearing William Shatner talk about Priceline. If you lived in or around or on Wall Street. They thought we were immense. That's all they heard. That's all they heard. Then I did overlays on where every airline was headquartered. So if you were an American airline and it was St. Louis, that's all you heard was Priceline commercials. Everybody thought we were enormous. Got 10 broken down computers, no phone room, you know, but the illusion that we were immense was created by the ability to buy radio inexpensively, target it, and put it where I needed it to be. Can you guys see yourself doing stuff like this? Is this can't you? I mean, this isn't rocket science. This is just thinking it through with your buddy Fred or somebody else like me. All right, so what was this for? Oh yeah, this is I'm going to bring you back down to earth. I belong to GKIC, Glazer Kennedy. Anybody know that company? All right, they're like they speak our language. They're direct response people. So, and I go there because there's a lot of young people and they're cutting edge and they talk about stuff and I'm always learning new stuff. So this guy comes up to me, tugs on my shirt. He said, hi, he said, we're in Philadelphia, we're a medical clinic. He said, we're doing some radio. I said, good, good, good. He said, do you think you can help us? And I said, what can I do? He said, we're about to go out of business. We're about to throw in the towel. I said, oh, that's too bad. He says, we have $5,000 left. I go, that's too bad, I'm sorry. He goes, could you look at our commercial and look at our media buy? I go, absolutely, no problem. So I looked at his media buy. It's terrible. It's paying too much, wrong media, just terrible. And I looked at his creative, terrible, just terrible. So I says, I don't know if I could save your butt. I says, but I can do a lot better than you're doing. I said, let me take a shot at it. That was 1 year ago today. Doctor and his partner, they're now about to open up their 6th clinic. They'll make $12 million this year, and they'll split profits of probably about $5.5 million. Both driving long Mercedes-Benzes. Radio. I did it on radio for them. So it's the entrepreneur that has, you know, that just needs some guidance. He has a good basic product, and then there's, you know, people that you think in your own minds that they're unbelievable, and they're not. They're just like you. You know, you're an idea and 160 words away from being wealthy. I'm here, by the way. I don't know if I told you this in the beginning. I'm only here for 2 reasons: to make you rich, and if you're already rich, to make you richer. That's my whole objective for this presentation. Whether you like me or dislike me or do radio with me, I mean, I'd like you to, but I really don't care. I want you to be successful. I see you people all around the country when I travel, and I love success stories. All right. What's this one? That's a national speaker that they were doing everything wrong. Same thing. Created some dramatic changes for him. This stuff, I'll tell you, they give me a million of these things. I can't go through them all. That's Jay. That's Jay Walker right there. At the end, I'm going to show you something. I'm going to give you a little glimpse about Jay. Generous man, never checked up on me once. Never. He never looked over my shoulder. He never questioned any of my buys, what I was doing, anything. What a client. All right, that's the thing that came out in the newspapers. We spent 5% of our money on print, and they were just to put half-page and full-page ads on what we've done. It was like it was our PR thing, you know, that we would announce. We just sold, you know, 2.2 million tickets. And I am the best radio marketer in the world. There's no question about that, and it's because Jay told me I was. He said, there's no doubt in my mind. So I had fun with Priceline. I had fun with all these guys. All these guys were hits. I did something I'm going to tell you about because because there's a lot of online people here. I did how many know what Pandora is? Pandora, okay. It's digital radio. You download it. 100 million people have downloaded Pandora Radio. 100 million people. It's part of our media plan, by the way. But anyway, when you buy Pandora Radio, you have no way of knowing this, you can either, at the end of your 30-second commercial, and they only use 30s and 15s, by the way, quite a challenge, that you can give an 800 number or you can say, tap here to order. When you tap there to order, we get a million responses, but the responses are very low quality because they didn't have to do anything but tap. Okay? So the source of your lead is extremely important. With radio, radio's leads are a little bit better than TV, about the same as direct mail. Okay, so think about it. If you hear a radio, you have to dial the phone, right? Or you have to go to your computer. You've already pre-qualified that. They want you when they come, so the quality of the lead is much higher. So don't ever try to compare online leads to radio leads. Radio leads are 1,000 times more powerful than that. And I know that because I've tested it. So it's your turn, and I want to hand you the keys. I want to hand you the keys. I'm going to show you this product that I have here. But before I do, I want to give you a glimpse into the mind. Is my video guy back there? Roll it, video guy. I want to give you a glimpse into the mind of an absolute genius. Very few times in your life will you ever see something like this. This is Jay Walker's library. Now, isn't that something like your library at your house? I don't know if you noticed, Sputnik was there. The original Sputnik was there. They're all original works there. And nothing's labeled. It's called the Library of Discovery. You have to discover what it is when you walk in. So I told him the last time I showed this, Jay, I emailed him. I said, hush, fell over the crowd. And he wrote back, Fred, if I ever have a fan club, you're the president. So we still communicate about once every month or so. It's tough with multi-billionaires. They're tough to pin down. But great guy. At any rate, what I want to do is I want to make commercials for you. I want to make 10 people hear a commercial. All right, that's what I want to do. All right. Well, it's going to cost money. You got money? I got tasty cake. All right. Here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to give you, I have to talk to you. I have to know about you and what you're doing in your product or service. You'll see, what you think you have, you may have much more than that, or it may have a twist to it. Right? Lewis? Lewis here. We had lunch yesterday. It was breakfast this morning. I drink a lot, Lewis. Lewis, some ideas come forth?
Absolutely.
Okay. That's the genesis of your wealth, the ideas that come forth. So we're going to have sessions with me. I'm going to do the profit analyzer with you. You need to know your profit potential before you go in. I'm going to give you my radio formula, of course. I'm going to write the commercial for you. I have 5 writers, and I am on that writing team. I'm going to record your commercials in my studio, or if you can't come to my studio in Philadelphia, which would be a mistake because you'll have a good time, that I'll get you in the studio wherever you are. I'll pull you into a studio, and I'll direct you over the phone and your producer over the phone in order to do that. That'll be after we get this thing crafted perfectly. The reason I like you in my office is because my producer and director and announcers are not regular people. They're direct response people. You know, they know what we're going for. We're going for a response. We're not going to make it sound cool and win awards. We're working for response. I give you digital convergence. That's this product here. Okay. This is $797. This is the most powerful marketing, cutting-edge advertising system in the world, right here, in my opinion, because you can do it and become a billionaire. I'll repeat that. You can do this and become a billionaire. This is a very sophisticated product. This is virtually everything I know about radio over the last 20 years. If you study this or listen to it 3 times, you can be up on the stage next year doing this. I don't have to come. This is how much information is in here. Make money with free radio, which I gave away for a kiss. Okay. I'm a man. My report on celebrity. That. Okay, how much is all this worth? I don't know. Million? What's it worth to you? I mean, I charge, big Fortune 500 companies pay a lot more than I'm going to charge you. All right, so if you had to add all this up with my very astute marketing group back at the office, they add all this up. It's $14,000 worth of goods and services. Before you make a decision whether you should buy this or not, and it's only going to be 10 of you, if it's 11, that 11th person gets in line. But you have to ask yourself, and this isn't rhetorical, I'm asking this question. You've been to a lot of these things. You've been in front of a lot of marketing people. Raise your hand if you have. Yes, yes? Okay. And you've heard a lot of pitches. Yes, yes? Raise your hand. A lot of pitches. A lot of marketing people. A lot of people. Okay. How many times in your whole business life have you ever been in front of a marketer that has used a marketing technique that has created billionaires? Raise your hand, please. Who? You've been in front of Donald Trump and Warren Buffett. They've made themselves billionaires. I've made other people billionaires. I'm doing okay, but I want you to be wealthy. So how much am I going to charge you for this? It says 20, I can only do 10. They wanted me to do 20, I can only do 10 of these. I'll spread out your payment if you want to. Okay? And that's it. And I have a gift for everyone at the back table. Remember I told you about the entrepreneurs, the original 56? Okay? Whether you buy this, God forbid if you don't, or not, I want everybody to have one of these. Okay? I'm going to go back there. You can just reach in and take, you can take a couple if you want to, you know, and you'll email me about this. You'll say, it got me. Okay? Thank you very much. You're very gracious.